expectation, and how did that meet reality? What you thought it was going to be like compared to what it was like once you got there?
It's always tougher than you think it's going to be. I mean, and it should be. When you come into a room where on a daily basis you're wrestling. It might be a world champion. There was an Olympic champion in the room. There was multiple national champions, and then there's guys all the way in between that are all pushing to be great at something. I think sometimes you take for granted, especially when you take over a program or you go somewhere, take for granted a little bit of tradition and what that means. And not that you think things are going to be handed to you, but you have athletes that believe when they step on that, they step in the arena, they step in the gym, they step on campus, they believe that they can win because of everything that's come in front of them. So I probably took that for granted, but man, all I try to do is absolutely everything that a guy like Mark Ironside did. you know, I tried to do everything that guy did. I tried to do everything that the starters were doing. I remember doing sauna sits with them and doing things that only the starters were doing because I'm like, unless they kick me out of here, I'm doing everything that they're doing because I plan on being there next year. And the great thing about that room is you would get your ass kicked up and down. Uh, Maybe get a couple hundred points, get pinned 27 times, 100 times in a practice, and then that guy would grab you and he would help you after, and he would work with you and he'd build you up and he'd bring you around, and that was the cycle, and it was a lot harder than probably I expected. My brothers kind of gave me an idea, but once you get in it, that day-to-day grind, I think that's the toughest thing, the consistency of the focus and energy that you have to bring every single day. There's no day off, and high school you do because you're probably the best guy in your room, and then you come to college and you're starting all over. And I started all over, and I don't know if I love the beatings, but they certainly helped make me into who I am.
Who are some of the guys who would give you those beatings and then pull you to the side after practice and work with you?
I'll tell you this. I mean, Ironside was huge for me. That guy, the first day of practice, man, he brought me in and he did that to me, and then he did it to me for about 5 straight years. But that was pretty much the cycle of everyone, though. The thing is, I think you recognize if someone's asking questions, they want to get better, they're eager, trying to learn. Like, man, you want to pass the torch off, right? Because you want the program to be great. It's not like you want. I win all these national titles and then it falls off. Like, then you haven't done your job. You know what I mean? I mean, the guys in front of you haven't done your job. I think if it falls off when you leave, you need to pass that torch on and take it to new heights. And that's just what they did. That's how it was. You get beat up. The guy never let you leave. I don't remember ever letting me leave just with my tail between my legs.
That's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Um, this is a very broad question, right? But what was it about Gable that set him apart, right? Like, there's been a lot of good coaches, and maybe you could argue that Kale's on his way to being in that category. Or certainly could argue that. But can you put your finger on what it was about Gable and maybe the way I don't know what was magic? What was it?
Well, first of all, like I said, man, there's a lot on top of that, right? I mean, you have title and title and title in front of it. Like, who am I to? Why would I question that? Like,
Yeah,
better than me. And then it's Gable. Like, for me, it was like it's Gable. Like, I believe him, and I think that belief and maybe almost a brainwashing in a sense, um, in a good way, that we believe so much that we're more prepared, that hey, we have the best room, that heck, when we go into competition, it's almost in a way a day off. But you look at the guys that you were battling with and talking about iron sharpen iron. I mean, that was every
yeah.
single day. So you just, for me, I know I stepped in believing it. It was like, whatever, man, I'm a blank slate. You tell me what to do, I'll do it, and I'll do it as well as I can, and I'll keep coming every day because I trust and believe in what you guys are telling me. And I think that's I think for kids out there, man, that's where you should go. You should go to the place that you trust and believe. You believe in the coaches and that they can get the absolute most out of you. Um, and it doesn't matter the size of the school. It matters that you believe and you connect with the coaches and the people that you're around. And that's what I felt like when I was there, man. There was no doubt when I was going to win. It was just how many. I mean, that's the mindset they got you to. It's like, it's not when, it's not if, it is just how many are you going to win? And I think that's when they can get you like that, man, that's powerful.
Sure. Um, it was his last. You only wrestled for Gable for 1 year, right?
Yep.
I bet his last. How I think did he have surgery that year prior to the year? He was on
Yep.
crutches. What? Give me the rundown on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
went down. That was
I
like.
think he cracked his hip. I want to say he cracked his hip getting out of bed, and then he's like, he had to get his hip replaced um, during the season. And, Jimmy was there and kind of took the reins, but, um, I got to see a little bit of Gable, and for me, I got to see both sides of it because when I came back to Iowa and coached, I got to coach with him too, and he just saw, like, I liken it to like checkers and chess, and I'm still playing checkers and Gable's playing chess. He's like steps ahead, and you continue to try to learn, and the more that you experience and go through, I think the more that you build a relationship with your athletes and get to know them, and that's the biggest thing that I've taken from him is that each athlete is different and what buttons you need to push. I mean, he's a master psychologist. I mean, he is. And if you guys have ever been around him, and he said, I've been fortunate to be around him, like he'll ask you a question or say something to you, and you're like, well, I'm not sure what he's asking here. What's he talking about? And then that night I'll be thinking about it and be like, oh, I get what he's getting at, or now I understand it. And then it's like it plants a seed and I mean, I'm just telling you, he's just steps ahead. And when he was in tune with his athletes and his team, I mean, it's just like, I mean, like a master musician, man, just playing the right chords all the time. And that's what it sounded like he was able to do. Like I said, I only got to be there for 1 year. As an athlete underneath him, I wish I would have got more, but I guess I'm pretty grateful for the time that I did get.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Did you feel like there was anything about his last season that it turned out to be magical, right? That clip we watched at the beginning of this. Did it? I know you don't have anything to compare it to because you weren't there with him prior to this last year, but did it feel the sense of this whole giant successful career is culminating this year, and he's just had hip surgery, or is it so just taking care of yourself that you're not thinking bigger picture?
Um, I don't know if I'm trying to remember if guys really thought about that. I mean, obviously you want to send the guy out the right way. I
Yeah.
don't think it wasn't 100% that he was done. I think everyone kind of felt that way. And, I think as a team, it's like, if this is going to be it for him, let's do it right. And man, did they get on an incredible roll. And if guys kind of remember the season, we had, I think, got beat by Oklahoma State, maybe at national duels, and didn't have a great Big Tens. Like I said, there was six in the finals in the NCAAs, and I'd like to know how. I'm trying to think of how many maybe were in the finals of the Big Tens. I know they didn't have five champs even in the Big Tens. I know that Jesse Whitmer got fourth at the Big Tens, and then won a national title. And that was something that Gable was able to peak guys at the right time and get them to believe. But I think when you've believed all season that you're going to be there, that certainly helps. And that no matter what's happened before, it doesn't matter, man. You're prepared. But I know the team kind of like, hey, we're going to send this guy off the right way. And man, just the atmosphere, like I said, you could hear it. I mean, did you hear how loud that crowd was?
Yeah. It was
I mean, it was
awesome.
incredible. And it was like that the whole time. For Iowa, man, they just rolled. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah. Did it? What was between Big Tens and Nationals? Does it matter what kind of training? Right. So much work's already been done. Like, is there much to do? Is there match simulation? Is he whispering things in the ears that are make them believe? Like, is there much to
Yeah,
that 10-day period?
yeah, there is. I mean, I think you can overdo it in that time. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
underdo it in that time, but I think you could probably, in a way you could overdo it. But I'm telling you guys, when you get in the right frame of mind, under overtraining anything in between that, honestly, it doesn't matter. If you're in the right frame of mind, and that's one thing Gable was able to do, man. He's able to push the right buttons. He's able to push the right buttons at the right time, and guys believe too. I mean, that's that team that you're looking at too. You got to remember, you had a guy like Lincoln McElroy who was he was a couple-time national champ before. A guy like, I mean, there was, and then there were some other guys that kind of came up. I mean, I think they had nine, I want to say now, eight All-Americans.
I think it was 8.
But everyone was at least in the blood round. They won 23 straight matches. I mean, I shouldn't be giving a promo for Iowa. I don't know. I should be talking about you and I, but but no,
Well, this is
they're great
your
memories
story.
though, man. I'm telling you, they're great. They're great memories, and I try to use those things as a coach. But um, and Gable, I don't know. I've had some opportunities to sit down and talk with Gable, and I keep trying to learn and pick his brain as much as I can. But like I said, he's like steps ahead of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing career, and he's still at it, right? He's still doing a lot of things to keep the sport moving. Okay, switching gears. I brought this up earlier. Real Pro Wrestling, right? I just happened to be searching your name and looking around earlier, and I came across your semis and your fantastically entertaining finals, by the way, against Eric Larkin. It was 10-10, and you throw him for 4 with like 3 seconds to go. It was fantastic. But I guess when did the concept come up? How did that all come together? And obviously it didn't last, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they ended up being out in Los Angeles. They brought us out there. We were on a studio set. And then you did promo stuff kind of a couple days before and took all kinds of pictures, and then then you wrestled your matches in multiple days. But they built it up. It was a great production. I mean, heck, they're going to pay us to wrestle. At that time, and it's getting to be more prevalent now. But it's like, yeah, we'll wrestle anywhere. Bring me anywhere. I just want to go compete against the best guys. And I want to say it was maybe October. And some guys, you could see some guys were in better shape than others. Some guys that, because if you kind of remember the calendar before, there was a little bit of off time, especially after World Championships. And then you kind of build into your season. And I wasn't much for building into a season. Like, I'm ready to go. But I just remember it was for me. It's like we're going to compete. Let's go. And we had a good team. I know my team won, and a few guys that I was training with got to go out and compete in it, and got to wrestle some fun matches. Like talk about that semis match, and I think it's great to have rivalries though. You need rivalries. You need guys that, hey, we're competitors against each other. We have an incredible amount of respect for each other. But boy, when we go out there, we want to smash each other. Bottom line,
Yeah,
and you get two guys that fight tooth and nail like that. I think that's what makes for great wrestling and great competing. And that was a fun match. I get asked about that one a whole lot. The Bono
which one?
one,
The semis? Yeah, because the
yeah.
finals was highly entertaining and 10-10 till 14-10, but that one was like 1-1 or 2-2. But like you guys were very chippy.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. You got to be able to keep your composure.
Yeah.
I mean, but also, there becomes, and guys wrestle each other a lot. There becomes a little bit of history, and I don't know. I think there's ultimate respect we have for each other. But man, when we're out there, man, we're both trying to take something that we both feel like we've earned, and I think that's where that came from a little bit. And I think if we strapped up today, it would be the same.
You saying you versus Bono? Predictions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that your points at the end? That was questionable call.
Oh, not even a question. Good Lord. What were you watching?
It
wasn't even close. I don't even know if I've ever I don't know if I've ever done that. I was trying to think if I'd ever scored like in freestyle on that, but you know what? He was in on my leg, but that was not even a question. It wasn't even close. I mean, Tech, they reversed it, and they were going to give Bono the call if they could. So it was obviously my points.
Fair enough. That was 145. Do you even weigh 145 right now? What do you weigh?
Yeah, I weigh about 55. I mean,
55?
that's pretty much what I walk around between 50 55. Yeah.
You were huge in that one. What, like you had this giant neck, you were puffy, and like you were just like I don't mean puffy in a bad way. You were just like you were very big, strong.
Yeah,
What were you weighing?
me and I would say in 60s. But me
Yeah.
and West Hand's a heavyweight, and he's 250, and I was trying to lift as much as he was, and we were lifting a whole lot, and that's kind of the plan we were on, because he reminded me of that. Like, he's like, you remember how much you were lifting back then, and how much weight you were trying to pull, and I was like, yeah, I do, and I was definitely strong at that time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, I do want to talk you and I. Um, what's up? College wrestling, Northern Illinois, Northern Iowa, excuse me.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Oh, our first competition January 10th.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it. You know, we've been training full time. Guys have done a really good job. They're home for Christmas right now, because I think it's really important guys get some time with their family, and and we're able to really uh, get ready for the second half of the season, because really we're starting in the middle of the season, which is
Yeah.
okay, and we've talked to our guys about that. Is like we're starting in the middle, and so we've pushed them very hard in the training, and try to simulate matches and put them in those type of situations as much as you can. But for us, just and give us the opportunity. That's all we ask. Let us wrestle the national tournament. And I think that's how everyone feels. Like, hey, I know the season's shortened, but man, just give us the opportunity to be able to compete.
I guess I think most schools got to start at least practicing on time or pretty close to on time. How is this? I mean, you had a semester with nothing, or the first half of the season with no competitions. I don't know how do you structure training? When to go hard? When to back off? You just full throttle, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're all trying to figure it out as we go, right?
Yeah, sure.
And we've pushed guys hard. We got out of school a little bit early, because they moved our semester up, and then they're starting our semester late, so we actually have 2 months off. So
Wow.
we had a really good 3 week training cycle, and you're trying to figure that out as a coach, but you want our guys to be prepared, and we have a young team, and our guys have really answered the bell. I mean, that's one thing you're gonna see if guys trained and took care of themselves during this time off, or this off season, and they've done a really really good job of doing it. I know we're all excited to get back competing, but um, we'll have a lot of training time, because how we have it set up, we only get to compete once a week, so we'll have a lot of time to still train and improve and get better. And I look forward to that with our team. But like I said, just man, we lost our national tournament last year, and so however our season shapes up, as long as we have that and have that opportunity, I think we're all going to feel good about that. I'll tell you this, that I think we've talked about maybe potentially moving our season to the spring, and I think I think it would be a good thing. I think it would be great for the sport, even if we
For
even if
this
we
year,
start
or for
we start
overall.
overall.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very good thing. You have freshmen that come in, and you know they get about 6 weeks in, and then they got to start cutting weight
Yeah.
to get down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think there's some definite positive way. Shit, sorry. Hopefully
That's
you
all
got
right.
it.
No worries.
I
No
lost
worries.
you for a second.
We're dealing with
I
it.
know I'm talking.
Adversity.
I'm talking. Yeah. No, yeah. I just making my own adversity right there. Sorry.
It's all right. No, we pushed through.
No, but I think it would be great. I think it would be good for the sport. I really do. I
Sure.
know there's been some talks, but I don't know if it's getting a whole lot of traction yet. But I think I think it would be a very positive move for our sport. We're getting a little bit of taste of what it would be like, even though it's kind of forced.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah. That'd be cool to see.
Coach, what has it been like trying to put together a schedule this year? I mean, it seems like a lot of places the schedule's not even finalized. And I checked your site before we got on, and I think it's not quite ready. That's got to be a unique challenge, right?
Yeah, it is, because obviously everything's very fluid, right? I mean, things change, and all of a sudden, CDC comes out with something different, and then you got to change something, or hey, this venue can only have so many people, and really we want to try to limit travel, just because logistically, you when you're traveling, there's some things that make it a lot tougher, right? Um, but Yeah, I'm still working through one date because I'd like to get another duel. I'd like to get, us to have a few more competitions, but what we get, we'll be happy with. But uh, a few conferences aren't allowing their conference to duel outside of their conference, so that makes it tough. Big 12 I think has done a pretty dang good job, overall in their sports of trying to keep their sports going. And, we can wrestle other conferences, and I'm still working on a duel or two, which is obviously not very ideal, but, I think we're, potentially, when you're still moving dates and that stuff, it just, you got to go with the flow though. And that's what I've told our guys is you don't know what's going to happen. You might get a quarantine, you might sit out 2 weeks, and you just got to be able to manage and deal with it and not get overwhelmed by anything. And I think we'll be more prepared for whatever hits us in the future just because of what we went through. But yeah, scheduling has certainly been a challenge. It's always a challenge, but man, it's been even a bigger challenge, with this.
I want to switch gears to one other topic I want to talk about, and I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but I did see that missed the high school state tournament due to an injury, and I'm curious what the story was behind that.
Oh man, you bring back some painful memories for me.
I'm sorry, we don't have to talk
No,
about it.
that's all right. No, my sophomore year in the sectional tournament. So you have sectionals, districts, and state. In the sectional tournament, I was in the finals and I hurt my shoulder and I got my first stinger. And I don't know. I mean, you know what a stinger's like, right? I mean, it's burning.
Yeah.
And at that time, I guess it's more susceptible to injury, but I didn't know that, and it's still burning. And the guy got my arm behind my back and he ended up tearing up some stuff. Um, and then I tried to wrestle back and didn't get to wrestle back. I'd been undefeated the whole year, was ranked number one, and then I didn't get to go to the state tournament that year.
Dang.
So the guy that beat me, both those guys placed, but the guy that beat me on the backside made he was seconds away from winning a dang state title. I mean, he probably should have won a state title that year. But yeah, that was painful. And then the next year it was still torn. I didn't know, so I wrestled through it the whole season, and then got second. Got reversed about 15 seconds left, and then finally won as a senior. But that's kind of been the story of my career a little bit though. And that it's never going to be as you plan. It's never going to be as easy as you want it to be. It's going to be probably a lot harder, but you stick with things, you persevere, and you just keep believing, man. You asked me kind of before about why I went certain places, and it's trust and faith in the people that you're around, and just, man, absolute belief, not kind of like toe in the water, like everything into it. And that's how I live, and that's how I've trained. That's how the people that I have around me believe, and that's how I believe in people.
How I don't figure you think about that very often. That 1994, the shoulder, or does that, or not even just the shoulder, but having to miss a season. And I'm sure at the time it was like everything, and you're miserable and upset. I assume, um, but I assume today it's just like, is it still something that, whatever, it's not time to
Only
real big
when
deal.
only when you bring it up, Bader.
Well, I have to bring it up next time I
No,
see you.
no. Here's the thing is though is it allows you to be able to relate to your athletes better. I mean, most guys get injured and have that. They have something where it gets taken away, and I've told them, I've managed injuries well, and I've managed injuries not very well. I've made my mind up that I can wrestle with it. I've stayed on the fence, and I could tell you how those things worked out. So I think if it just allows you to be more, relatable to your athletes, and that, hey, I've had this experience. I know it's not exactly like yours, but hey, I've been there and felt that too. So I'm glad, man. Everything to me has worked out as it should have, and I'll continue to use it. And like I said, for me, it helps me relate to my athletes better. So I'm not upset about it, man. It was part of it, and I'm more happy with how I responded.
Sure.
Coach, I got a question. You may not remember this, but it was so I went to the Iowa camp in '99, and I remember there was like a goal setting session. I don't know if you remember the
Yeah,
big lecture hall.
yeah.
And you stood up, in front of the whole room, and you said like, "All right, guys, I'm going to be an NCAA champion next year, and I'm just gonna like say that. And you just previously had talked about, you know, having like an extreme level of belief and confidence. And I remember sitting there, this was between eighth and ninth grade for me, and I was just like, it was like scary for me to think about verbalizing goals out loud because now I'm accountable. But you know, you modeled that. Where does that level of like confidence in your goals, even though you know you might not accomplish it, where does that come from?
Um, I mean, just a faith, I mean, a faith. I mean, I believe in something bigger than myself, and I trust in that, and for me, man, I would rather put absolutely everything I can into something and turn every stone over and not get it than sit and have regret. I've been very fortunate to have, me, I mean, parents that believed in me. My mom was, man, my rock in my life. Uh, my brothers just instilling those things in me too. My brother Mark, he's instilled certain things into me that I was able to carry forward. And then I don't know if I'm going to do something, it's not going to be a halfway thing. And you know what, putting it out there, it does hold you accountable. But I think too many people they kind of want to wait and play things safe, right? Let Playing things safe is, I mean, you can't ever find new land that way, right? I mean, you sit on the shore and you look and everything else passes you by. So I know that's how I want to try to live my life, and I I don't remember doing that, I, but I'm glad you remembered. But you know what? I made it happen though too. So I just think when you put things out there, man, you breathe it to life, and you make things happen. You just chase them down, man, every day. And I'm not sure where that comes from. I just know that I'll keep trying no matter what. Get knocked down again and again and again. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep coming. And same thing I feel like as a coach and learning things and be building a national championship team. Feel like going to do the same thing here.
Yeah, compare setting goals as an individual to setting goals for your team.
Oh. you, I mean, you have a individual. Obviously, you have a little bit more control. I mean, just from and as a team, I mean, it's got to come from them. Like for me, I believe in them. I believe in our guys. I believe that we have guys in our room that can be national champions up and down our line. But I truly believe that. Now, them being willing to put what's necessary in to make that happen, and for them to believe, that's the next step that we're trying to get to. I set goals. I set goals in a way that an attitude, effort. I mean, there's certain things that I can control that I'm trying to control better instead of putting maybe a number out there, or hey, I want to have this X of All Americans or this or that. Like if I say, hey, I want to have 8 All Americans this year, if there's 10 guys that are going to go to the national tournament, I'd be like, who the hell's the 2 guys that aren't going to place? I
It's
mean,
Coach talking about me.
that's not going to happen. We're gonna we're gonna have every single guy. So I guess I try to break it down in more of the daily, and staying present and putting everything we can into each day. And man, I don't believe there's any limits in what we can do, individually. Especially, you're talking about 10 years of time. I mean, I'm thinking about 10, or I'm going to coach for another 15 to 20 years. Like, so I'm not just taking it this year, but I'm trying to get everything I can out of this year because some of our guys, this is their last year, or there's their last opportunity. But I'm looking at it in a big picture point of view, and you have athletes that come back from 10 years from now and they're like, hey, some of these things that you talked about or you told me, man, this made a difference in my life. Not just my wrestling. It made a difference in my life. So, I mean, we want to win in wrestling, absolutely, but I want to build better people too.
Sure. When's the next time we're going to see West Gym filled up? 2022?
I know, not soon enough. I can tell you that. Not soon enough. We're going
When
to be
you took
wrestling our
that
home
job,
matches.
did you picture that place being packed and it becoming what it has?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my brothers both wrestled here, so I got a glimpse of that, when I was growing up. But just it's a unique atmosphere. I kind of say it's an acquired taste a little bit because the seats aren't comfortable. You got to get there an hour before. It's hot, but the people that come, they love it. I mean, they absolutely love it, and they're wrestling purists. Like, hey, we don't need to have a nice cushy seat. hey, maybe we have a dang pillar in our way, and we gotta scoot over, or we got to get close to each other. I think it, it it fits our program. It fits what we are and who we are, and I don't know. I love that atmosphere, man. When you got to have a place packed 45 minutes before, and they're shoulder to shoulder, and you can feel that energy. It's pretty incredible. But yeah, I mean that's what we wanted. And Bader, you've seen and been around enough that not a lot of places have that kind of energy or have that kind of atmosphere. So it's an advantage to us. But I think the great thing in wrestling, I think wrestling's been doing a better job of promoting and getting things out there under crowds, and so I want to keep that place packed every single time, and just packed to the rafters, and I think that makes it an incredibly fun atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the chance to wrestle there at least once, maybe twice in college, and I don't know if it was totally packed, but it was. And I do remember some guy I lost, and some guy came up to me afterwards and shook my hand and said, "You wrestled harder." Just gave me a compliment. I was like, "What the?" What's going on? It was really cool. But you guys kicked our butt, and then we got driven home to Missouri without dinner, so that sucked. Yeah. Sorry, Brian Smith. But he did it to us. Sweet. All right, Doug. Well, that's about all I got. Anything else from you? Any other UNI updates or parting words of wisdom, or just parting words?
No, just I guess everyone enjoy their Christmas, Merry Christmas with their family, and put their dang phones away for a while and be present, and look forward to this new year and getting back into college wrestling. We're having our season. People keep asking about that. Like, so are you having our season? We're having our season. We're having our season. I mean, the dates are set, man. The NCAA tournament's March 18th to 20th in St. Louis. We don't know how many fans are going to be able to be there. They're gonna right now. They're keeping it as at a full 330 participants. So, man, our season's going. So I know we all look forward to it. Hopefully, everyone we get to have that place packed. If not, for the athletes, it's the same. They're still chasing after, national championships and getting the most out of themselves. And we just look forward to getting the opportunity to go to that national tournament again and crown 10 national champions and 80 All-Americans. And I know you guys are looking forward to that too. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So people keep asking, and our season's coming, and just can't wait to see us back out on the mat. So just Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Doug. Do you think we're gonna have a season?
We're having a damn season, man.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. You have a happy holidays too, and appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Doug. We'll see you.
Yep.
All right, so there it is. Another fantastic session with Doug Schwab. Always a pleasure to talk to. David, this was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging for me to hear that we're going to have a season, right? Everybody's like feels that same way. Is it going to happen? And hearing that confidence, I'm excited. You and I, they should have a really fun schedule. So can't wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Again, December 30th, the Dan Gable documentary comes out, and we'll be on tomorrow with another former Hawkeye, Royce Alger. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great day. All right.
Yeah,